Hey everybody, I want to make a video about ecology as a whole because that's what this whole channel is about, and I wanted to make something that could touch on a few things in case you were wondering about ecology. Maybe you're in school and you're about to major in ecology, kind of like I was, because when I first went into it I didn't know exactly what it was compared to biology or anything like that. And also, why is ecology important? So let's start at the beginning. A lot of universities now are using ecology degrees instead of biology degrees. And although biology is the bigger section, ecology is a branch of biology, but that's because the term biology is the study of life. So most natural sciences could be argued it could fall within biology. So that's why that's like that. With ecology, though, think of it more like the mathematical version. So I actually went to school with a lot of people that felt tricked and deceived and were a little bit upset around the end of our stint in undergrad because of this. And it's because if you want to be in natural sciences, but you want to work outside, go to forestry, go to plant sciences, go to an agricultural campus. Ecology is how things react with each other. Biology is how things are, and things like forestry is the hands-on application. So biology would be more a singular focused thing. So if I wanted you to learn about a whale, you would learn about a whale. That would be the biological study of a whale. So let's say biology is more singular focused. Whereas ecology is more, it's not the study of the whale, it's the study of how the whale interacts with its environment. So if you wanted to study whales in an ecological manner, you wouldn't study why the whale is shaped the way that it is, although that will be a part of it. It's more along the lines of why is the whale, what is the whale affecting? How is the ecosystem working with the whale? How is the krill the whale is eating? How does it play into the fact, and how does the whale play into that? So ecology is the ecosystem and the relationships between them. So it's more plural. It's more of a relationship focus. So it's more of the relationships of the singles. So if we were to say, oh, I want to study whales and I want to know how they're mammals under the water, that's a biological idea. If you say, I want to study how a school of whales affects the ocean, that's ecology. Now, let's say you said, let's step off whales because, well, I guess marine biologist really, but let's go to something easier that I'm more versed with. Let's say that you are here in Tennessee and you said you wanted to focus on trees. Well, if you're in ecology, you could say, I want to see how trees are affected by pollution. That's the relationship between an anthropocentric thing like pollution and trees, ecology. If you said, I want to focus on the structure of the trees, I want to know that, why the cambium grows the way that it does. That's more singular focused. So that would be more plant anatomy, which would be closer to a biological thing rather than an ecological. Now, if you said, I want to go out and I want to count the trees and I want to physically monitor and work with the parks and do tree things, that's more forestry. So forestry is hands-on. If you are an eco major, now don't get me wrong, I have plenty of friends that we graduated together, we went to school together, and they all work outside. You have field work when you are an ecologist in the field. But if you are wanting to just get out there, throw on your ranger hat and go work, it's a lot easier to go for a forestry degree and then go work for the United States Forest Department, or the United States Park Service with a forestry degree. Yeah, you can get there with an ecological degree, but you're going to do a lot of math on the way there that you don't need if you don't want that part of the study. So, like, just focus on that. So, forestry is more hands on. They do science, they do math. I'm not belittling them, I'm not saying that they don't. But if you're looking for a more straightforward, like, I want out in the field all the time, it's a lot. You're going to be looking at forestry because we spend a lot of time in the lab on campus inside in ecology. So, forestry, hands on. And then you have things such as, like, if you're really into plants and you want to do like the horticulture aspect, there's things like plant sciences, horticulture, water sciences. I have a friend who graduated from the agricultural campus where he focused on the runoff water patterns. Like, there's all sorts of that kind of stuff, and those are all typically on agricultural campuses, and they have a lot of really cool, really interesting outside labs where you work with like rainwater and like runoff sediment and things of that nature. But in ecology, you do, like, I took field botany and mycology, and I worked in an herbarium, and I did all sorts of things that were more related to the scientific aspect, the laboratory aspect, than any of my friends in forestry did. But I have a lot of friends that when we got to the end of our time in undergrad, we had to start taking statistical classes, because in ecology, since it's about the relationships of things, statistics is a big aspect of it, because you need to know, like, the statistical analyses of, like, what are the chances of this happening, and what are the chances of me knowing this, and if I found this and this, what are the chances of being repeated, to be able to really grasp the numbers and the outcomes of the things that you got in your research. So a lot of those guys were really upset about that, because they thought the ecology was going to be outside, I'm walking around touching trees, talking to bears. But that's not what that is. And then I have friends that were in forestry that, like, my good friend of mine, his minor's in forestry. In our final semester in undergrad, I was in biostatistics and in extracurricular statistics, because I like statistics. And he took a forestry class that focused on, like, the ins and outs of parks and recreation departments, and, like, he had a lab where he went rock climbing. I never had that. My minor was not in forestry though, so and I just want to touch on this so you guys know the difference. And if you were wondering, like, oh, why does my university only offer ecology? It's a broad term, just like biology was before. Like, I have friends that graduated a few years before me, because I didn't go right out of high school, and they have a degree in biology, and I have a degree in ecology and evolutionary biology. It just depends on where you go, and honestly, more depends on what you focus on in your undergrad. But those are the fields. So if you're looking at jobs, forestry, hands-on. Biology, it's more singular focus, more anatomy. And ecology, it's more broad, it's a lot more math, it's more statistical analysis. So yeah, that's why those are like that. And I think that ecology is important personally, because as humans and as the largest, most dominant species on Earth, I feel it's our job to understand the mathematics and the ideas and the progress behind all these things, so we can plan accordingly. If we can find out and learn and understand the mathematics behind hydrology and the ecology of fish, and, like, how I want to do the macroecology of algal blooms, then we can plan accordingly and help the species that need it sooner rather than later by predictions via the mathematics of ecology. And that's why I think ecology is important. You might think differently. You might think ecology is silly and we don't need it. Or you might think that biology is actually just ecology with a mask on, being a nerd. Or ecology is the dorky part of forestry. I don't know. Let me know what you think. Thanks for checking out the channel. Make sure to check out the shorts. I have an invasive species series, because I feel like it's really important to educate yourselves on different species and knowing what's going on around us. And I think that ecology is important because I think that everyone should know the awful situations the world is in, and ecologically speaking. So thanks for checking me out. Thanks for checking out the video. If you want to support the channel, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, say hey. And yeah, thanks for coming out. Thanks for learning something new today, or not learning something new, and dropping a comment and telling me you hate me. Thanks, guys.